And we're back with another video, guys. Today we're going to break it down and show you guys some common credit card fees and ways to avoid them because they can be super pesky. I mean, nobody wants to deal with fees.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.
So first up, the annual fee. There are tons and tons of great cards out there that offer no annual fee. But typically the trend is the higher the annual fee, the more perks and benefits you get. That's pretty much the most common one people tend to look at is the annual. Does it have an annual fee and how much is it? So when you're looking at the base Delta Airlines card versus the premium, it's going to go from I think like 50 or $100 to like $700.
Yeah,
so
it can get crazy.
You just have to check that out and be aware of that.
Yeah, that's the first thing a lot of people notice when they're looking for a new card. Does it have a fee? Annual fee.
Right. And me personally, again, I only look at no annual fee for the most part. I just think it's kind of crazy, but I also don't credit card hack. I'm not as good with that. So
I'm considering a nice travel credit card. I've been looking into it more and more because of my work and everything.
It can be beneficial for sure.
We'll see. But yeah, guys, like Ryan just said, it's easy to avoid it in the sense of you just get a card without an annual fee. Another way to kind of mitigate it is if you want to get one with an annual fee is make sure you're going to use all those perks because a lot of them do come with enough perks to where it's like, it's kind of worth it. Just make sure that you're going to use it. All right, guys, next up is transaction fees. Now, these can come in the form of something like a foreign transaction fee or a cash advance fee. That's just when you're, traveling abroad and you're spending your credit card, the bank ends up charging you an extra fee. Now, it's somewhat easy to avoid that. You'll just have to check into what your card's, policy is because any true travel credit card won't have a foreign transaction fee. Otherwise, it's not even really a travel credit card. But you'll just have to kind of keep an eye out for that. And of course, you could always just use the local currency, whatever country you're in. That's a pretty safe way to avoid that fee. Cash advance fees almost always show up. And the best way to avoid that is don't use a credit card to withdraw cash. Practice some, good financial habits and everything. If you need to withdraw cash, make sure you're using a debit card, not a credit card.
All right, the next one is late payment fees. This is a good tip or good to be aware of for two reasons. One, you don't want to get charged just for paying a little bit later. And two, it can hurt your credit score if you pay later. So be very aware of that. The quickest, easiest way to save yourself on that is set up automatic payments. At least for the minimum. Usually the minimums are like 30, 50, $100. Just a minimum payment on all your cards when you open them, and just so it can save you in case you do miss a payment or you forget about the card or anything like that.
Yeah, or at least set yourself up a reminder. Maybe you're not ready to set up automatic payments, but have something to either do it for you or remind you to do it yourself.
Definitely.
Another very common fee that a lot of people run into is overdraft fees where you spend past your limit. I've seen some people like on the internet and everything getting a bit confused. You don't need to spend your credit card limit.
Oh my gosh. I just started seeing that.
Yeah, it's not a goal to hit your limit. It's not free money. It's like, I got a $5,000 limit. I can spend up to $5,000. And some people think it's like free.
Yeah.
That's not what a credit limit is at all. That's the max you can spend, and it's debt. A credit card is debt. Whenever you use it, it's debt. So just be aware of that.
You're borrowing money.
That. Yeah.
It's not your money. You're borrowing that money. And
saying exactly. You'll pay it. Yeah. So do not go past it because anytime you do, obviously they're going to charge you because they're like, this is the max we trust you to pay back. You're going past this. Obviously, you're going to get hit with a fee.
Oh, yeah. So then in that case, you're overdrafting. It's probably going to be harder to pay. So you're having late payments maybe. It's like it turns into this whole big thing. So just understand how the credit cards work and avoid those. Yeah, for sure. The wrong way. We talk about debt snowball. Don't do the deadly snowball.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are in debt these days and trying to get out of it or get their payments lower. And so a lot of people are looking at zero interest credit cards. That can be great. You can transfer the balance from one credit card to another and you have zero interest. We talked about that in a previous video. Please go check that out. We explained it in detail and the best credit cards to do it on, and we gave some tips. However, the big thing you want to check on, zero interest, they're going to get their money somehow, and usually it's by this balance transfer fee.
Yeah.
Typically that's between 3 to 5% of the balance. So if you're like, I'm going to transfer $20,000 in to this credit card, I'm going to pay zero interest for a while for 21 months, say, they're going to get there somehow. So they're going to get it with that fee, and be careful of that fee. It's big, especially if your balance is bigger.
Yeah. And really the only way to avoid that, if you want to go through it, is occasionally, and it's not common, so you'll have to kind of keep an eye out for it, is certain banks will offer temporary promotions of a zero transfer fee.
And I normally see that with credit unions more than the big banks. But
yeah, so that's just something you got to keep an eye out for. If you're going to do a balance transfer, that's really the only way you can fully avoid it. Just like Ryan said, there's usually a few percentage points in there. All right, guys, so as you can see, credit cards can be a great tool. You just have to be aware of all the fees that come along with it.
Definitely.
So keep an eye out, being vigilant, and just making sure you understand the credit card you're getting yourself into. You can really avoid all these fees together.
Yeah, and definitely make sure you integrate credit cards into your life. Don't change your life to fit the credit card. That's one of the biggest tips we always share in our credit card videos. Make sure it comes into your life for something you're already doing. If you already travel, a travel credit card is great. Don't start traveling and spending all this money so you can get a travel credit card. Doesn't make sense. Again, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel. Please comment and let us know. We love the comments. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting, you'll spend it and be broke again.